Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Khairul. Today I would like to present the lecture that I delivered in week 1. The first topic for this course is Introduction to Information System in Organization. This is the lecture outline. Firstly, I will give an overview or a background of information system. Secondly, I give a refresher course on data, information, and knowledge. In overview of IS, I will use train ticketing online system as an example to describe information system. Next, I will be talking about the components of system and components of information system. For business information system or BIS, I will cover the types of BIS, and the last subtopics are competitive advantage and carriers in information system. This is the learning outcome. At the end of this topic, student is able to describe and identify data, information, and knowledge and determine the differences between the three. Next is to describe the components of a system and information system. And lastly, students are able to describe information system with respect to competitive advantage and careers. A little bit of background. Information systems are a set of interrelated components that manipulate, store, and disseminate information and provide some feedback mechanism to meet an objective. So why it is that important for us to learn about information system? Well, it is because that the information that we use is on an everyday basis to make decisions. Information is used in every profession. For example, technicians, executives, managers, even directors, and it is used in every industry such as healthcare, education, oil and gas, entertainment, you name it. So all these companies, they rely on information to solve problems and also making informed decisions. Some would say that information is one of the key resource for an organization. Without data, without information, organizations are not able to work efficiently, will probably making the wrong decisions, and mostly will be left behind as compared to their competitors. Take Kereta Api Tanah Melayu, for example. KTM operates the electric train service, as you might have known. Passengers can buy tickets either through the counter or online. If online, passengers will buy the tickets through an online ticketing system, as you can see here. The online ticketing system is an example of an information system. The online ticketing system here contains information which will make you decide whether you want to buy a ticket or not. It also contains information about on-seat availability and many others. Example of components that I mentioned before are the software and hardware that the users use to input data and getting output. So who are the users here? The passengers of the train and also the train managers. So users such as the passengers have to go through a series of steps, right, in order to buy a ticket. First, the user has to select departing station and destination, the date and the time. Next, the system will display available trains. If there is none available, users have to choose again. So all of this, the hardware, the software, the people who use this system, the process, These are all mix-up and information system. If you're not familiar with ETS tickets online website, you can relate that with other similar websites such as TGV ticketing systems, all those buying tickets online. They are working similarly like this one. Next, we are going to talk about data, information, and knowledge. Since we are talking about information systems, so it is really important that we know what data is, what information is, what knowledge is, and what are the differences between the three. I guess that you might have learned about this previously in your foundation, but I think that again is recapping or a refresher course. Firstly, data. What is data? Data is unorganized and unprocessed of facts. It could be a series of numbers, alphabets, a collection of images, sounds, videos. All of those are data. Look at the example. The example shows a series of numbers which happens to be the scores of Test 1 FIS students. So what can you make of all this? Basically nothing, because they are just numbers, right? Even if you see a list like this Excel spreadsheet over here on your right, it is still data. It's just a list. Less value can be seen out of this. What about information? Information, on the other hand, is processed and contextualized data. Converting data into information requires a transformation process. This process can be selection, organization, and manipulation. For example, you may take a series of data and you sort it so that you know what is the highest number or the lowest number. Or you might have a series of images and you rearrange those images according to themes. Okay. It is important that information to have value to you, because as compared to data, you do not see any value out of that. So information should be valuable to you. What more to an organization, right? So in organizations, information must have certain characteristics in order to make it valuable. So this slide shows 11 characteristics that make information valuable. For example, information must be relevant, accurate, trusted, timely, and others. As you can see that these characteristics are pretty much straightforward characteristics, right? So you just imagine that if you are a student, a UTP student, so what is information to you? That's number one. And how does the information is valuable? Of course, you want to make sure that your information is correct, right? So it needs to be accurate. You want to have the information accessible to you. So that is one characteristics, right? So as I said, these characteristics are basically straightforward characteristics. You do not have to remember all 11. Just select at least 4 and make sure that these 4 characteristics make sense to you. You are able to relate that with your daily life. Okay, going back to this series of numbers. So in order to transform these numbers into information, you need to put this data into some form of process, right? Initially, the numbers are the test scores for this class, fundamental of IS test scores. We converted this data into information. Okay, so as you can see, the test scores have been sorted descendingly from the highest to the lowest, as in the first point. We can also calculate the average for the score. And from the scores, assuming that 40 is the passing score, we have 4 pass and also 2 failures. Okay, so to me, this information is valuable because it will allow me to strategize or allow me to plan on what should I do in order to have a higher average scores or to have 100% passing in test 2. Okay, and as you can see also that why this is information, because firstly the first point, the numbers are sorted descendingly. The second point is about average, and the third point is about grouping the scores, right? So these are the transformation process that I am talking about. So by knowing this information, by having this information, so I would think of something that I would do in order to improve in test 2. So what do I do with this information? Basically, I have to make decisions, which is trying to improve the average of the scores and try to have no failures in test 2. Therefore, I need to think of a plan or a strategy to do this. And I have ideas, and I rely on my previous experience to strategize on how to improve the test scores and many other things. So this is what knowledge is. So information processed in my mind, and I relate that with experience, with ideas, with experience, with my judgment. That is basically knowledge at work. So let's do a quiz. This quiz is on Socrative. So you go to socrative.com and click student login, enter Khalid as the role name and click join. So once you're already joined, just answer the question. So the question is about for you to identify a particular image, whether it is data or information. So give you 5 minutes to do this.